Yeah, this book began at the request of a publisher that made books that included a lot of facsimiles of original documents. They sent me some samples that they had done before, and they were really interesting. And I think that's something that would interest readers who like Darwin, because there is such a treasure trove of materials, of original things that people could see that they haven't normally seen. So this book was meant to be an accurate overview of Darwin's life, but also to enrich it by showing people original documents and illustrations that were part of his life. The, the book was my attempt to tell Darwin's story at a moderate length, but from the perspective of someone who's an actual full-time specialist on Darwin, and to set the record straight on a lot of things that are frequently mistold, but also to make it accessible to someone who isn't an expert, who hasn't read all of the literature. So I expect the reader to come with no background and not being an expert in any of these areas, and just be able to pick up the book and understand who Darwin was, where he came from, what his social context was like, and what he said and did, and then what people thought about it at the time. Because it is, despite how much it's been retold and will always be retold, it is still an astonishingly dramatic story. That one man, and basically that one book, The Origin of Species, changed the world forever. Now, that's not just a dramatic soundbite. It is literally the historical truth. And what I've been working on for the last few years is reading thousands of accounts in the books and magazines and newspapers from Darwin's period in Europe and America and in languages other than English. To see, it's remarkable how consistently people all over the world said that Charles Darwin has revolutionized our understanding of nature. Everything has changed, and there has never been such a huge change in our understanding of life on Earth or of humanity itself since the work of Darwin appeared. And they're saying that while he was still alive, and then once he died, of course, there was a huge outpouring of people telling his whole life story, starting to what we're still doing. But I think other writers on Darwin, other historians, have not spent the time that I have reading what contemporaries said about Darwin. And I'm trying to re-deliver their view, their message back to a modern audience. How dramatic and fresh it was that everything has changed because we see species, we see humans as so different than what we thought before. And they attributed all of that to this one man. And that doesn't happen very often. And that's what they said. They said, no one has influenced our view of nature so much, perhaps not only in our lifetimes or our century, but perhaps ever. You can't get more dramatic than that. And it's historically accurate.